Rev up your engines. All right, this guy bought this used 2013 RAV4. Why did he buy used? Well, only had 59,000 miles when he bought it. It had everything he wanted. It's all-wheel drive. If he would have bought a new one, he did look at the new ones. That was $25,000 more. So basically, about twice what he paid for this. And let me tell you, this thing's got a lot more than 50% of its life left. I've seen these things with 400,000 or 500,000 miles on them. So, going used, finally it's starting to come back to earth. No longer are people paying more for used cars than new ones. They got plenty of new ones out there, so the used car market isn't as inflated as it was. So we got a nice looking car, and it is all-wheel drive, 59,000 miles. You can't complain about that. You look at the body's in excellent shape. Now, it is a New York car, but Toyota knows how to rust-proof these things. Okay, this thing is 11 years old. Is it rusted? No, it's not, because they build them correctly. Look, still even got the original muffler on it, even though it lives in New York State. And look at the frame. Solid as a rock. So I look under the hood, perfectly good engine. It's a 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter. It's not turbocharged. You don't need to go out and get a V6 engine. These 4-cylinder engines have plenty enough horsepower for pulling around. It's all-wheel drive, so it'll go through the snow. And you might say, oh, I want something faster. Well, guess what? He wanted to see how fast it went. So he drove it to Pittsburgh, and he's got it on his phone. He drove this thing 130 miles an hour, and it worked perfectly fine. Do you need to go any faster than that? He got the best ones that they make because, as you can see on the sticker here, made in Japan. This one's made in Japan. It has the 6-speed automatic transmission. And if you want, you can put it in manual mode and shift it yourself. And I tell you, that transmission is the reason a lot of people buy these. A lot of people hate CVT transmissions. I rented a new RAV4 when we went to Death Valley a few months ago. The thing got 45 miles a gallon. It had an automatic transmission too. And this is a 6-speed. But on the other hand, the 6 speeds, they're a lot easier to fix when they break, and they do not break down very often. The 6 speeds with this engine, 2.5 liter, doesn't burn oil, gets good gas mileage. Now, of course, it's all-wheel drive, so it's not going to get phenomenal gas mileage, but it gets around 30 when it's on a highway. And for an all-wheel drive vehicle of its age, that's 11 years old, that's good gas mileage. You know, who cares about 3-4 miles a gallon here or there? Realize, what did he save? He saved like 25 grand buying this thing used. You buy an awful lot of gasoline for $25,000. Let's just put it that way. And he's the type of guy like me who wants to keep it forever, right? So he was smart not buying a hybrid. Now, Toyota makes fine hybrids, but they are so complex, and when they do break down, they cost so much money to fix. This thing's got an alternator on it. They generally last a long time. It's still the original one, but when they go out, I can get an alternator for maybe 250 bucks. About 20 minutes to put it on, nothing, right? If you bought a hybrid one and the generator goes out, that's over $6,000. Hybrid, as it ages, if you're like me and like him and you want to keep something 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 miles, don't even think about hybrids. Stick to the normal engines. There's going to be gasoline out for quite some time. And anyways, a hybrid uses gasoline too. It just uses the hybrid motor as a boost. So we'll see if the bell tolls for this by hooking up my new Autel Giant scan tool, and we'll see what shape it's in. He changed the battery. It's got a real key. Plug in a scan tool, and we'll start the system up. Auto detect. Knows it's RAV4 without smart key. And here we go. We'll do a full scan of it here. See, it's scanning it pretty fast. It's a fast machine. 84%, it's almost done. Got a lot of passes, we'll see. It's got a few codes, we'll see what the crazy codes are. It's got 4 codes, they're kind of squirrely codes, okay? Engine stall history, startability. Now, he bought it recently used. In the past, probably the battery was low, probably sat at the dealer. You'll often get these startability codes. It's a very common thing with Toyota. So what we're going to do is we're going to erase them. So we'll go into the system. Turn the key off because I was showing the key. So double codes. And we will erase the codes. Okay, they're gone. So now what we're going to do, we'll see what kind of shape it's in. We'll go to the engine and we'll do live data. So we'll start it up. And here's all the insane live data. We'll start checking it out. If airflow sensor is good, it's 2.5 liter. It's 2.6, 2.5, that's normal. Battery voltage is normal. Long-term fuel trim is minus 0.782. So it's less than 1%. So it's running less than 1% lean, and that's absolutely nothing. You really don't care about that. As you can see, the air-fuel ratio is 0.999. 1.000 is perfect, so it's pretty close to perfect. And he wanted to know if the mileage is real, and it says it's got 62,000 miles on it now, because he drove it a little. This is in kilometers, 99,946. So I Googled that, which comes out to 62,103.565, and that's 62,104, so it's only off 0.435 of a mile. They don't go by half miles anyway, so it's the correct mileage. So he's happy now because he was worried, gee, is that the real mileage? I don't know. Well, it is the real mileage. Got a bunch of stuff. He got the low price scan tool. He's got my book, AT205 reseal, and he got one of these nice Hulkman jump starters. I swear by the Hulkman. Sorry to all you other companies that sent me jump starters, because I recently got some from a company. They were garbage. They said it had like 10,000 amps. The things wouldn't even jump start a car. And then when I got a Hulkman that was only half charged, that was rated at half the amperage, started it right up. So I stick by the Hulkman. As we go through the rest of the data, everything's normal. So let's take it for a spin. Well, so he's happy he didn't get ripped off, and I love it because it has a real emergency brake. Guess what? You spend 55 G's for a brand new one, you get one of those stupid electric ones. Toyota backup camera's working, nothing special, not that big. You can see my wife's matrix. So it's got a reasonably wide field of view. Well, this is all-wheel drive, so we can go over my little bump here. Nothing's gonna drag. And we'll take it out to the highway, and you can see it's got nice steering wheel, black and chrome. Here we are on the rough Rhode Island roads, and hey, it rides good. Realize it is a SUV, relatively high up in the air. You know, it's not going to ride like a Cadillac, but it rides perfectly fine. Now he's got an eco mode, so we'll see what it does. And hey, even in eco mode, smooth shifting. Transmission shift smooth, the engine smooth. And like I said, sure, you could buy a brand new one. The one I rented got up to 45 miles a gallon, but it costs a lot more money than he paid for this thing. They're fun to drive, nice cornering vehicles. And unlike the early RAV4s, they're more car than truck. And they don't rattle and bounce around like the older ones did. Granted, the old ones could last a really long time. And like I said, a four-cylinder engine's got plenty enough. Hey, he drove it to 130 miles an hour. Didn't bother it at all. So, if you want to get better gas mileage, don't waste your time with the six-cylinder. I've seen people tow stuff with this too, so I really didn't even bother with a six-cylinder on these. I'd stick to the fours. He's proving it to me. There's his phone. He took a snapshot. He was going 128 miles an hour, going to Pittsburgh. He's a man, so he wanted to see how fast it went. Most women aren't going to be driving that fast, but it does. These are well-engineered vehicles. So what I have to say, well, thank goodness the price of used cars is starting to come down. You save 25 grand buying this used one. I saw it a couple years ago that used ones like this were going for the same price as they did when they were brand new. It was insanity. So finally, things are starting to come down. I read a thing that in a short period of time in the United States, there's going to be a glut of cars in the market. I kind of tend to believe it. People are losing their jobs, kind of a recession coming if it's not already here, and this fantasy of all these ridiculous prices for used cars, it's coming back down to normal. Because I mean, if you really use your head, beautiful RAV4, you save 25 grand buying it used. It only had 59,000. They can run forever. It's got the engine that doesn't burn oil, a nice automatic transmission, regular mechanical handbrake. Hey, I would rather have this than a brand new one because I know the technology. The Toyota Dynamic Force engines is very interesting technology, but it's very complex, and when it breaks, it's going to be a cow to fix. This thing, this thing's normal technology. It doesn't have all this extra technology that the new ones have. So sometimes you're better off buying an older one and saving money at the same time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.